Ending a 20-year brutal war, the U.S. military has completed its withdrawal from Afghanistan. The withdrawal came before the end of August 31st, which was the actual deadline set by U.S. President Joe Biden. America's war with Afghanistan will be remembered for colossal failures, unfulfilled promises, and a frantic final exit. The war started and ended with the hardline Islamist Taliban in power. This is the last American soldier to leave Afghanistan, that is Major General Chris Donahue, who is the commanding general of the 82nd Airborne Corps. Boarded U.S. Air Force's C-17 on August 30th, ending the U.S. mission in Kabul. Evacuation flights have airlifted more than 123,000 people out of the Kabul airport, yet the Pentagon has admitted that America could not evacuate everyone who wanted to leave. Let's listen in to the U.S. Marine Corps commander announcing the exit.
I'm here to announce the completion of our withdrawal from Afghanistan and the end of the military mission to evacuate American citizens, third country nationals, and vulnerable Afghans. There's a lot of heartbreak associated with this departure. We did not get everybody out that we wanted to get out. But I think if we'd stayed another 10 days, Louis, we wouldn't have gotten everybody out that we wanted to get out. And there still would have been people who would have been disappointed with that. It's a tough situation.
Following the announcement by Pentagon, U.S. President Joe Biden will hold an address on his decision to not extend presence in Afghanistan beyond August 31st. Meanwhile, he has mentioned in his statement that the Taliban has made commitments on safe passage and the world will hold them to their commitments. During the Kabul operations, the United States evacuated more than 5,500 U.S. citizens since the flights began on 14th of August. A small number of American citizens have chosen to continue to stay in Afghanistan. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has confirmed that now fewer than 200 Americans remain in Afghanistan who want to leave, and the number of Americans left may be in fact closer to 100. After winding up military drawdown, Blinken has vowed relentless efforts to help Americans and others leave Afghanistan in the coming days. The United States would work with Afghanistan's neighbors to secure their departure either overland or by charter flight once the Kabul airport reopens.
So here's our plan for the days and weeks ahead. First, we built a new team to help lead this new mission. As of today, we've suspended our diplomatic presence in Kabul and transferred our operations to Doha, Qatar, which will soon be formally notified to Congress. Given the uncertain security environment and political situation in Afghanistan, it was the prudent step to take. Second, we will continue our relentless efforts to help Americans, foreign nationals, and Afghans leave Afghanistan if they choose. Of those who self-identified as Americans in Afghanistan who are considering leaving the country, we've thus far received confirmation that about 6,000 have been evacuated or otherwise departed. This number will likely continue to grow as our outreach and arrivals continue.
Talking about U.S. engagement with the Taliban, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has cleared the United States stance, saying any legitimacy or support of the Taliban will need to be earned. Washington has also suspended its diplomatic presence in Kabul and has shifted its operations to Qatar. Blinken has called it a new chapter of America's engagement with Afghanistan.
Every step we take will be based not on what a Taliban-led government says, but what it does to live up to its commitments. The Taliban seeks international legitimacy and support. Our message is any legitimacy and any support will have to be earned.
And for more on this, we're now being joined by former intelligence officer Glenn Carl from Boston. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. The withdrawal has been completed. However, there are still many Afghans and Americans wanting to leave. What can you tell us about the situation?
Well, I'm afraid that I don't know anything really more than anyone else. It just I think the focus, understandably, has been on the chaos and the sadness of the fall of the government in Kabul. But the larger picture that I think has been missed largely is President Biden's strategic decision to put the American-Afghan effort in a larger strategic context as he tries to reposition American resources and attention towards China, Russia, and Iran. Now, that doesn't diminish any of the heartache and fear that many Afghans will feel now.
Right. Now, sir, the Biden administration has been criticized for its chaotic withdrawal. However, Secretary of State Antony Blinken has assured that they are in contact with the Taliban, who have ensured safe evacuations for those wanting to leave. How do you assess these statements?
Yeah, I don't think that there too the criticism has been widespread about chaos and so on. I think that criticism is actually unfair, and I think that the operation, once the Afghan government fell, the operation to extract Americans and Afghans who have desired to leave, all things considered, at the end of a war with a withdrawal of forces, has been quite remarkable. As the general just said, we heard that there's no way that an endless presence by the U.S. there could get everyone out who wants to leave. But there, I think actually the criticism focuses on these scenes of chaos and fear. But given the circumstances, it was actually a success.
All right, sir. Now, the United States has also shifted its operations to Qatar, suspending all diplomatic presence in Kabul. What can you tell us about the practical implications? How effective do you think this is going to be?
Well, with the American military gone, the United States, of course, doesn't have that much leverage now. The Taliban do seem substantially more sophisticated than they were when I was working with or on them in the mid-1990s, but that could simply be smoothness. That doesn't necessarily mean moderation. So the international community working together can deny recognition and aid, but that's unless the Taliban do various things or don't do various things. But that's about the extent of the leverage at this point.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for joining us with all your insights on that. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.